Hello and welcome. This is Travel Talk with Anna Hoy. I'm your host, and I am not only a travel enthusiast, but I'm a vacation specialist and owner of Vacations by Anna. And today we're going to talk about how can you stay healthy while you're traveling. And there's a lot of talk out there with different strategies, but today I thought I would bring somebody who knows a little bit more than I do about staying healthy. So today joining me, I have Coach Julie Beck, and Julie Beck is a 26-year fitness veteran, and she is American Council on Exercise certified personal trainer, certified in fitness and nutrition, and she is, as you can see on her shirt, natural movement fitness trainer. So help me welcome Julie Beck. Hi, Coach Julie.
Thank you. Hi, Ms. Anna. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, thank you so much for joining me. I love your energy. I can feel it through the screen.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Well, I'm really excited to have you here. This is a hot topic where a lot of my clients and people have been asking me, what strategies can I put into place, whether I'm a fitness guru or I'm not a fitness person, to maintain my health and make good choices while I'm traveling. And I thought we would start off a little bit with, how can you plan ahead? What can you do to prepare before you go on vacation to not only keep your immune system, in good shape, but to keep yourself conscious of what you're doing and pre-plan before you go on any kind of travel?
That is a great question. And I love the fact that you used the key word, and that is plan, because don't you think you spend so much time in your travel planning and you have exactly where you're going to go? Some people wing it, but you know where you're going to be at what time. And it is interesting. Sometimes it's easy to just wing it on food. I think that if you act super similar eating wise that you do when you're home, you're going to do fine. I have people over the years I know who have said to me, they'll go on a cruise and they say to me, oh, you were in my head the whole time. Like I get up to the buffet and I hear Julie, do you really need that? And I'd laugh at them and I'd say, have I ever even said that to you? They're like, no, you're just there. It's like, cause I know I train with you. And so I think what they were really saying is accountability wise, they have the sort of luxury of working with a trainer. And so, yeah, I was kind of in their head the whole time bugging, but they always said, thank you for that. So if having a trainer is not something that you do normally, yeah, you can totally still take care of yourself. I am a big fan of nothing new on game day. That's sort of my rule for whether I was in entertainment. You don't try anything new. You're not going to buy a new pair of shoes and take them with you on vacation if you're planning on doing a lot of hills and a lot of walking, right? You're going to wear those shoes for a couple of weeks before you go because you have a limited amount of what you're going to take with you. So you're going to want to know that everything you take is important. I think choosing your foods and staying healthy while you're gone is the same thing. So going back to planning, it's my real strong belief that you should already be in the pre-planning stages way before. So you should already be eating healthy. And what does healthy mean? Not a lot of processed foods. I show people how to choose foods from a grocery store using Choose My Plate, anything from USDA.gov. So these are resources that are available to me, and I'm mentioning them because guess what? They are free. If you really want to know some very quick and simple ideas about how to eat well, start with My Plate. That's what it's called, My Plate. And you can find all that information online. And all it does is just helps you say, look, these are vegetables for reals, like a lesson. These are fruits. So if you're eating vegetables and fruits, by the way, you are kicking your immune system into drive. Bam, it's on, it's in it to win it. When you use spices, garlics, gingers, there's a lot of even spices that offer immune system enhancement. Personally, I'll give you my one little thing that I do every morning. And that is, I don't just sit and drink lemon juice all day because it's really not good for your teeth and your gums. I drink a little bit of lemon. So out of a lemon, a full quarter of it, squirt it. It's about not even 2 ounces, maybe 2 ounces of real true lemon juice with some warm water. So I'm having maybe 4 ounces of water first thing in the morning, maybe 6, and then I do a heavy rinse after that. But I do that, and then I wait 15 minutes before I do anything else. And what that does, by the way, it does 2 really strong things. It helps take mucus buildup that is in your innards. So I don't do probiotics. I personally don't do a lot of anything. I don't spend my money anywhere. I just eat good food. The second thing that lemon juice does for you, man, does it kick your vitamin C into gear. So if you look at the relative properties of vitamin C relating to fruit, lemon has some of the highest amount of vitamin C, period. So again,
and
big on lemon.
That's easy, right? That you can take with you everywhere that you go. If you're staying at a resort or you're on a cruise line, they have lemons available. So that's really an easy strategy to start your day and put something good in your body. And like you said, kind of set your body up.
It's a vitamin C shot, and you're not taking a bunch of vitamins, and you don't have to worry about processing and heat and blah, blah, blah. You just squirt, and off you go. So anyway, I think roundabout the planning stage is plan by taking care of yourself before you go. Because yes, your immune system might take a little bit of a punch. You're around more people. And this is everything aside from what's going on right now. Because this video may be seen 2 years from now, and this whole little messy event is going to be way behind us. And so in general, as we travel, no matter what, when you are going to be around a lot of people, you want to pick your immune system up. And may I say, water. Did I mention water?
Yes.
Being adequately hydrated is really important. And I know you're going to ask me, I think, a question about that later, but that's part of the routine, is to be hydrated before you get on that airplane or plane or train.
Planes, trains, and automobiles, right?
That's
no matter
right.
where you're going. So I've definitely heard that, and as we mentioned about the lemons are readily available. So is water wherever you go. Recently went on a cruise with my husband in January, and we just bought a case of water and had it in our room. So we can have water readily available throughout our entire vacation. And when we were going on an excursion, I just grabbed a bottle of water with me. So a lot of people are road tripping this year. So if you're in an RV, you can bring water, you can bring lemons, you can pre-pack some good healthy foods and snacks to take with you on the road. So that is a big question people are worrying about flying, and how do you keep yourself hydrated? So I think you just kind of answered that. It's just drinking a lot of water. So before you get on the plane, during however long your flight is, and probably when you land as well. Would you agree, or is there any other strategy?
Absolutely. And I have a little trick that I have definitely used for years, and I don't even know where I got it from. Like, it wasn't one day somebody said this to me. It's just, being from Arizona originally, I love sun tea. I don't use black tea because it's just really hard on my system. It's highly caffeinated. I like flavored tea. So I'll do a decaf green tea. This is one of my favorites that I did recently. I have one mason jar that I use, and I made my sun tea. I put it out for like maybe 2 hours because it was full sun. I don't let it get so dark that its tannins are disgusting to the taste. It's kind of like art, you get there. It's not that dark. But I use herbal teas because they have no caffeine in them. All herbal teas, they got 0 caffeine. So I have a raspberry one, a raspberry pomegranate. Now the raspberry is very tart, and so I use chamomile in addition to that. So I have 2 chamomile bags, 1 raspberry and 1 decaf green tea. I put all 4 bags in there on the side, screw the lid shut, and I let it sun tea up. Sometimes if I did let it get a little strong, I do just add water to it. So I use that over ice. And the reason I'm saying tea, you can pack tea bags with you. And it's really cool that I know I have worked with a lot of people over a long time who traditionally say to me, I don't like water, which I'm not going to judge. I'm like, that's too bad because you need it. So let's figure out a way that you can like water, that you do ingest it, because you just can't not. It's ridiculous. You can't over-caffeinate.
Yeah, method doesn't have added sugar. It's just the tea,
and other than you want to make sure you brush your teeth. So after the lemon water, I want to make sure I rinse really hard. Or after glasses of tea, you probably want to rinse out and then make sure you're giving them a good brush as well. Nobody wants tannin teeth.
Right.
It's kind of just like coffee. Well, the good thing is then you're not using milk, and quite frankly, you do not need sugar. You really don't if you're using a flavor. I'm not saying, don't eat sugar. I'm just saying, hey man, you got to decide where you're going to put it in your day, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
anyway,
agree.
staying hydrated, super important. One of the ways you can do that to keep drinking water is stow a bunch of tea bags, and whether you use them sparingly or like you can kick it and make yourself a little sun tea or just make it, dunk some. But I suggest making kind of if you're in a hotel or something, they've got a reasonable size container, they've got that water, the ice bucket or something like that. Ask them for something big and make more than one cup at a time or reuse your tea bag. It's not gross. It's just you.
No, I like that. That's really good advice. And a lot of people tend to, because they're on vacation, so they're not on their normal routine. So if their normal routine is that they get up at 6, they walk, they do their lemon water, they drink their protein shake, whatever their routine is, vacations kind of throw you off your routine. So if you're somebody that has a routine, it does kind of throw you off. And the second thing that a lot of people think, their mentality, and I know I was guilty, one of them, is you think, oh, I'm on vacation, I'm free to indulge and have a good time. Yeah.
Like that.
But what I found, and because I'm a former customer of yours as well, Julie, is some of those strategies do stick in your head. And when I went on the cruise, I did realize that you can get menus ahead of time. So if you're staying at a hotel, an all-inclusive, they have, restaurants in there. If you're on a cruise ship, you can get the menus ahead of time and you can plan what you're going to order, and they will make you customize your menu however you want to. So if they're having, a big pasta dinner and they have steak and vegetables and potato, you can forego the potato and ask them for extra vegetables. So there is strategies that you can put in place no matter where you're vacationing, whether you're at an Airbnb or, particularly if you're in an RV or camping, you can just bring the good healthy foods with you.
You're right. Although, can I say something? Because I think potato got a bad rap. And I'm just going to say, think of how inexpensive a couple of potatoes are in your RV. Do you realize that? Like, how easy would that be to boil up a couple of potatoes? It's stuff that goes along with the potato that is sort of danger, Will Robinson, right? So I'm just saying, for the record, I don't buy into that 100%. And I get what you're saying. If you were going to get rid of something, don't bring the loaf of bread.
Yeah.
I think that's the part where people, this is just my experience speaking, they overeat. If you want to bring a 12-grain bread, like, I'm not going to have people listening to this going, I can't believe she didn't say eat
right, or you have some
plain white bread. Don't do the whole baguette, right? I think where we're leading into is portion control and allowing yourself to experience everything you're paying for. But here's the deal. You could split one dinner or you can order two, do a little split. We do tend to eat a lot when we're out. I'm not sure why. It's so weird. It's like, do we think that's going to be our last meal ever in the history of mankind? And I just we get like a freedom bell rings.
Yes.
Most of my husband-wife teams who have been traveling together for 20 years and more, here's the craziest thing. So they're all super successful about the way that they feel and the way that they look. You could literally look at these hubby-wife teams and say, dang, like, they exercise, right? It's not that they're in perfect muscles or anything. It's clear they take care of themselves, right? Do you know what they do? What? They split meals. Yeah. And they have desserts, but they split their meals. So they know for a fact they're not overeating. Now, do they always split meals? So they'll get one meal and then one wants a salad, one wants a soup. They have figured out for themselves how to work that thing and how to work it out. Let's say you're single and you want to travel and you get someplace and you're like, ooh, I am a big fan of one plate. You don't want the big plates, right? You just don't. Like a kind of a low plate. And you look and you go, a little bit of that, a little bit of that, a little bit of that, a little bit of that. And you literally go ding, 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 ding. It doesn't have to be the whole ladle full. You will be amazed that once you're on vacation and hopefully you're relaxed and you're chilling out, right? You don't have to eat. You're not same. You're enjoying like every bite. Now here's where we get into the psychological fact of make sure you're on vacation. Make sure you're enjoying it. Like you're
taking time to enjoy
and like experience what you're doing. And you're all, oh, I'm all she and I'm eating this really good food and have a little bit of it. Definitely just so we can go there. Yeah, try desserts. Personally, I wouldn't eat them with every meal. You're probably not going to, you're going to have a hard time if you're eating that with every meal. And I think you go to the alcohol part too. you kind of can't expect to stay your same maintenance weight without exercise on the trip if you're having a mimosa with your breakfast or brunch, and then you're going to have your happy hour at 5 or 6, and then you're going to have cocktails again with dinner. So I'm just saying that one's a tough one. So one way to combat that is you have to exercise. Like you actually have to body move. So that's one or the other. I wouldn't suggest doing it all and doing them both. So you just kind of got to be choosy about where your calories are. And we all know alcohol is sugar, and that's why I went there, by the way.
Yeah.
That's just a bunch of sugar.
And I think those are the choices that people have to make when they travel is if you're going to drink, you know, as you're mentioning, do it sparingly, enjoy yourself, have a good time, but you know, that is empty calories and that is sugar. And then the second thing is desserts and sweets. And yeah, you want to indulge a little bit, but do you need to have dessert every day? You don't. You know, like you said, there's choices. They're splitting the sundae.
Yeah, because now you've got half the, and if I could say, so let's just pretend I have finished my meal. Get up and walk around. Promise yourself. This is a huge trick, like the lemon water. I am so guilty, I kid you not, of like sitting down to read or laying down. That's my thing, man. And I just have to make myself sit up. I have like a pillow on this side, a pillow on this side. I'm like, because I do want to just kick back. Like after I've eaten, I'm all, I just want to chill. Can't do that. So I have made an agreement with myself for 15 minutes minimum. I have to sit up. So you can't just go chill out. Walking would be the best. It really would. You know, I'm not saying you have to exercise walk. Stay up, stay upright. You know, your tummy's busy metabolizing, so you don't want to go right into exercising. But give yourself the general advantage of staying moving a little bit before you go down for that siesta.
Yeah, I hear you. Don't eat dinner at midnight and then go to your room or your cafe and crash out.
Or go see a show. Or go walk around, like, let's just walk all the way around the ship and see what we see, you know?
Yeah. So that kind of leads me to my next question, which is, how can you exercise while you're on vacation? You know, there's a lot of different people traveling different ways. And right now I'm hearing a lot about road trips, but of course there's cruise ships, there's resorts, and there's people going to Airbnbs where there really isn't a gym or a track or any type of class that you can take. So what are some strategies to help you stay fit physically, move, as you mentioned, with move naturally on your shirt there? How can you do that? Whether you're a fitness person who, you know, prioritizes their health, like somebody like yourself, or if you're somebody like me that maybe doesn't, you know, exercise all that often, but I want to be physically active while I'm on vacation because I don't want to come back and negatively impact my health. So what are some ways that we can do that with some of the different ways folks are traveling today?
I think that's an excellent way you just put that, to negatively impact your health. That's really what happens if you go and give yourself a hall pass. If you're gone for an extended time, 10 days or 14 days of acting a fool, it doesn't do you any favors. And you always end up feeling, now we've affected our head. So exercise-wise, I thought about this a lot. And I want to be really, really upfront with what my experience is with people. The individuals who are already exercising in a regular routine are the only people I know who exercise when they're gone.
Oh,
so,
interesting.
Just so we can be very clear, I find that if somebody has that mindset and they're really into their discipline of, like you said, I get up at 6 in the morning and I'm going out for my walk, you almost don't have to set them up for exercise, because like on my way out the door, I'm like, you guys are going to keep walking? Yep. And I just know they are. Can I totally give all of your viewers a big hall pass on, if you are not currently exercising, why would you start when you're on vacation? And I'm not being mean. I'm like, come on, man. You need to start ahead of time. So in that pre-planning stage, it is my humble opinion, you want to be walking walking at least 2 weeks before you go, because you're really going to enjoy it then. And say,
that's good advice. I like
you
that.
know, and just say, why would you expect yourself to do something on vacation where you're totally, you know, mentally you just hall passed out? I call that a hall pass because, like in school, we weren't allowed to do something without a hall pass. But when you got your hall pass, You could go like walk free in the halls and not get in trouble. And that's where I get that mentally from. So
Yes.
I think that if somebody is already on an exercise program, because we're talking about a couple different levels here. So let's talk about somebody who's not currently exercising, who says, you know, oh yeah, I'm gonna like exercise in the gym when I get to the boat. Well, that's cool. I would suggest instead of exercising by yourself, if you're not used to exercising, go join one of those groups, because the chances are like 100% of you are actually going to be new at it. And it'll be fun. You'll meet people in there. You'll all be like, oh my God, I never do this. This is really fun. You know, it's more of a social aspect, and get your body moving. Definitely do it. You're going to meet a bunch of like-minded people. And if you're kind of a medium exerciser where you have a routine, what I find is more often than not, those people, they don't actually need other people, and they don't really want to be around anybody else. They're going in the gym by themselves. And then that brings us to the intermediate, to the advanced exerciser, and saying, especially the advanced exerciser already has a plan. So I would say experiment. If there's something that you want to do that's on a cruise, for example, that you normally wouldn't do, go do it. Number one, you're never going to see these people ever again, right? And then maybe you will meet a friend. But the cool thing is nobody really actually cares what you look like, because they're all thinking of themselves. We need to get very clear about that. Nobody's ever looking at you, man. We think they are. They're not. Everybody's all just like in their own little bubble, which is cool, because it gives you sort of a freedom to go experiment and to be like, I've never taken spin before. I would go into the instructor and go, I've never taken spin before. Can you help me out? This is something fun I want to do today. 9 times out of 10, trust me, those cruise, the instructors, they do this for a living. You are not the first person who's ever walked in going, I've never done this before. But introduce yourself, right? So I'm like, have some fun with it, but have a plan that allows you to both exercise and to be a little free. I love the idea of walks after dinner. Those I don't give away. Like, those have to happen because you need to stay moving, right? And you want to be up and get your blood flowing. I like the idea that you have a plan. So I know so much, but I have to pick like 2 things. I think you should be really focused on body weight types of training. What does that mean? It could be yoga. It could be MoveNat. You may not be at a place that has a gym. And in MoveNat, yeah, nature is your gym. So if you're camping or you're at a B&B or something, you can go right outside that door. Most of you are in a beautiful area. You can find a tree to climb on, rocks to jump, big rocks to lift. And you could do tag team and funny little crawls up hills. MoveNat's its own little adventure there. But if you were going to pack anything, and I didn't bring them in here, and I'm not going to leave now, flat bands, maybe a set of cables. I'm really like this about bringing gear when you're on vacation. Again, if you're already exercising, you'll use it. I know you will. If you're not, don't go spend a bunch of money on something you have never used before, because the chances are you're not going to have any more motivation on vacation than you do at home. I'm trying to give you a hall pass.
Yeah,
don't do it.
I hear you. So if I'm hearing you correctly, Coach Julie, it's set yourself up for success. So if you're somebody that exercises, they're going to already be thinking about that when they go on vacation. And if you're not somebody that exercises, get out there and get yourself warmed up and get into a momentum of getting out and moving your body before you go on your vacation. So whether you're on a cruise, you're on an all-inclusive, you're at an Airbnb, or you're camping, you're used to moving now because you've been doing that for a few weeks before your trip. So yeah, you are probably going to sit on your rear a little bit, but you're going to be out having activities that you probably wouldn't normally do as well. So a couple years ago, my husband and I went to Greece, and I didn't realize how much walking we were going to be doing and swimming in the beach. And it was more activity than I usually was doing, because I'm not a person that exercises every day. And what I found was similar to what you're saying. I exercised a little bit before I went, and it kind of helped me to get the momentum going. And all of that activity, it also helped me to make good food choices.
Yes, it does, because nobody wants to, walk off or eat the thing that you just walked off. And the nice thing is, especially if you're a constant traveler, now you're in the habit. So you come back, you've got this really awesome habit. You keep walking, and now your next trip, you might have some hills. The cool thing is your next trip, you're not starting at 0. You're starting from this nice elevated point of, oh, I've got this base now. I actually have this cardiorespiratory fitness that, I actually worked on a bit. And so now you just need to bump up a little level of hills. You're not like, oh man, I'm gonna have to work. It's really hard to get into exercise if you're picturing it that it's work. And exercise, in a sense, it is work, but when it's so overbearing, it's really hard. People use trainers all the time. partly for accountability, but partly for programming. So I want to give your viewers one of my tricks. Pick 3 things and then do it repeatedly. CrossFit has made an entire business out of this. And I say that particularly because they do AMRAPs. I actually had to ask, what does that mean? It's as many reps as possible. So it's an acronym. You can do these a couple ways. Interval programming, I mean, without getting inundating, because again, it's not fun when you've got too much information. Pick something simple. I'm going to set my clock for 15 minutes. And in 15 minutes, I'm going to do these 3, maybe 5, but 3 exercises over and over and over and over for 15 minutes. You can also do 3 exercises for 10 minutes and then pick another 3 for 10 more minutes. But I never get too crazy. I'll do 25 jacks. I'm going to get down as long as it takes me to do 10 quality push-ups, and I turn over. I like full abdominal curls. Jury's still out. Do them, don't, plank, blah, blah. I need to move my body. A plank is not it. Everybody's different. I do curls. So my next round, man, I need some leg activity. Boom, boom. I'm going to hit some squats, and I might change my jack pattern for side shuffles, back and forth, back and forth. Because you want to, and I do a rotate. So I'm going to do a nice seated position, and I do those 3 exercises, but that's it. And here's the cool thing. I might do that every other day for all 7 days. You don't have to keep picking something new. Don't do what I do. And I'm really hard on myself. And I'm like, oh, I got to do yoga one day, and then I'm going to do the TRX, and I'm going to take a step class. And I do that because.
So don't overthink it. Keep it simple. So
seriously.
Exercises, and you can do different parts of your body. And if you commit to at least 3 times while you're on vacation, or more, depending on how long you're going to be gone,
right,
then you're not over promising something that you really are not going to stick to, you know, because I have a tendency to do that, Julie, is I put too many things on my plate. I'm going to do, and then I know I'm setting myself up for failure. So I like your idea of in pre-planning and setting yourself up for success is to just think about 3 exercises you can do, 3 different ones even, 3 times while you're on vacation. So keep it simple, 3, 3, 3.
There are so many choices. I'm just saying, you need to work out at the level that's appropriate to you and have a plan that you're not hard on yourself. You're just going to click it, get it done. It should be enjoyable. You know, yoga and breathing, and I like mobility training, flexibility and mobility training. So yoga is definitely almost another style of an exercise program because everything is set and it has names, and, you know, then you have a specific breathing pattern. It's one of the things I love about MoveNat straight up is because you're moving like you did when you were a kid. And even though there's technique and it's technique specific, you are probably not going to get hurt and you're going to move your whole body around. So again, just decide that you want to do something for this amount of time and then plug that in. What does that something mean? What do I like to do? You know, do I like really heavy cardio? Do I like strength training?
Yeah, and I think
decide what you want.
Can appeal to all different levels of activity. So
and people travel with kids. So quite frankly, you've got to think of the things, you know, this stuff like I was describing with the jumping jacks and anything where you can do tag team and run sprints across and slap hands and stuff. It's got to be fun.
Yes, I would have to agree 100%. So I think those strategies that you gave so far are really, really valuable. I mean, you're talking about drink water, you know, plan ahead, where you're going, what are you going to eat when you go there, make good choices. You talked about sharing plates, splitting meals, splitting desserts, and moving your body in a lot of variety of ways. What would be like your top 3 tips for travelers? Excuse me, as we mentioned in the beginning, this could be airing now during COVID, or people can be watching this, you know, years from now when we're not in the current situation. What would be like your top 3? I know it's hard to just pick 3 strategies.
No, I'm going to think one right now. I hadn't pre-thought about it, but the literally first thing that comes to my mind is actually about food. That's oats, boiled eggs, fruits, veggies, roasted chicken, nuts. Those all come to mind big time. And the cheese, I could totally exist off those. Even if you got rice, I do eat carbohydrates. So how inexpensive is rice, right? And you can get the wild rice. It's a ton of nutrient value as well. So, and then there are people who, you know, you could get some turkey patties, veggie patties. There's food to feed you the same way you do at home, wherever you're going. Now, of course, when you go to another country, and I think you would ask me about that, you know, what do you do when you're not prepared to eat those foods? That's actually a really good question. And I think your idea as a travel consultant, the person that I would say to you, I know for a fact you say to people, do you have special dietary requirements? I can help you take care of those. Look, yes. I'm going to ask you because I don't know. I am not familiar with food in Argentina. I'm going to ask Anna, what can I eat? And you'll say, you're going to do all my work for me, okay? I know you are. So, hey, I'm going to throw that one back at you and tell you I don't have all the answers. I'm going to another professional who does, and then you're going to provide me sort of menus and ideas. And these are Argentinian foods. So what would you eat out of that? And And maybe then you would say to me, oh, I got a special client. She's going to Argentina. Like, what would you do? And that's how you add value to your business. We all work together. We want to just take care of people in general. I would definitely reach out to somebody if you really have dietary concerns. Well, you need to address that before you go. Don't act like it's not important, okay? Because it is important. Now, one of the other strategies we already talked about is be hydrated before you go. Can I be any more stern about that?
So and I guess you need to drink water, huh?
Yeah, I mean, you got to drink enough liquids because it's going to help your skin. And honestly, some people get constipated from the airplane air. That happens a lot. I've heard people, because you're getting dehydrated and now you can't poop. And in order to prevent that, eat the vegetables, drink the water, okay? Especially when you're having fiber like that, drink the water. So I can't stress enough that you have to be adequately hydrated. You want to eat foods that are pleasing for you and have a bit of a plan as to what your little shopping list is going to be. Go swoop that stuff up. No excuses. Make sure it's there on day one. The other thing I think I would have to say is really a psychological aspect, and that is be very good to yourself, but don't be a fool. I mean, really, we're smart. We're smart travelers. We know better. And so if that little voice, you got like the angel and the little right? The little devil on that shoulder. Pay attention to the devil, man. Don't just kick him off. And what I mean by that is your intuition. I really believe like all of us have all the answers anyway. We're just super smart individuals, right? We really are. Granted, the best salespeople will keep asking until they get the answer they want. Like, is cheesecake good for you? And somebody out there is going to tell you there's some property in there that's good for you. So don't be too wise. But my point is being able to let yourself go a little and give yourself a little freedom, but also you have to be your own coach while you're gone, and you got to be a little disciplined and say, look, man, I got a plan. I'm going to keep moving while I'm gone, but I promise I'm going to have a lot of fun, right?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Be accountable to yourself.
You're not traveling with them to tell them what they should be eating. So
right, and just because you sort of, I've heard people say all different, like I ate bad. I'm all, it's not bad, man. You didn't eat foods that supported your good health when it comes down to it. It's a lot more words, but I don't like that sort of black and white and bad and good and bleh, Don't throw the whole day away just because you feel like me, I eat 7 kinds of cheese. I mean, do I feel good about that? I'm all, it was really good. So I'm probably not going to do that tomorrow. And I would literally say to myself, dude, you cannot do that again until Thursday. You know what I mean? I'd be like, 24 hours goes in between that cheese. That was crazy. You just ate like 1,200 calories in just cheese alone. That was insane. So I make a little deal with myself and I'm like, all right, man, you need to back off that cheese. And then I kind of just like shape myself up. I'll probably go exercise the next day. But that's what I mean. Like, I'm not being foolish, but I'm not being a jerk to myself either.
Right.
So be nice to yourself.
It's the self-talk as well. And then, we did talk earlier a little bit about indulging in alcohol, and that does cause you to be dehydrated. So if you drank a lot the night before, you probably need to drink a little extra water the next day because you're dehydrated yourself from drinking.
Actually, right then, I'm going to interject. So here's my little alcohol trick. If I have a cocktail, I'm all 2 ounces of water minimum, 2 to 4 before your next drink. It's my total trick. Oh, that's how you stay hydrated.
Oh, I like it. That's even better.
I follow the old rule that you take your body weight and you divide it in half, and that in ounces per day is approximately how much you should drink. So let's just say that I was in even 100 pounds. I would, and I'd be like this, oh, it's way too thin for me. But my point is 100 pounds. So I want at least 50 ounces of water a day. Well, here's the crazy thing. I drink between 52 and 54 ounces every single day. You know how I know that? Because before you go on vacation, I know that this is a 12-ounce glass. I have a couple other glasses. I drink out a really thick glass because once I pour this, it stays in the temperature, the ambient temperature of the room. I really like it like that. It's not too cold. It's not too warm. I will start with a cold glass and it just sort of warms up. But this thing will be gone. I think that a general rule, if I could give you nothing else about being hydrated, if you drink 2 sips of water, do you know those baby Dixie cups? So that's 2 ounces. And if you drink 1 little Dixie cup, I have given them away at the studio and had people drink. I'm like, you need to drink that out of your water bottle. So you fill up 24 ounces. Good. You know you're drinking a 24-ounce bottle. 2 ounces of water and set your alarm again 15 minutes. 2 ounces, 15, 2 ounces, 15, 2. Because you're going, it's so simple. It's just exactly what I did.
Yeah, I love it. That's some really good advice.
That's 2 ounces. So by the end of an hour, you've had an 8-ounce glass of water.
So I love everything that you had to say, Julie. I appreciate you coming on. Is there
I've had a lot of fun.
Last minute words of wisdom before I let you go? That's a big one, right?
No, I'm thinking in response to traveling. I think it's really important. This one is nothing about anything we've talked about yet, but in MoveNat, I am also a combative certified instructor, and that means self-preservation. I win. You choose me, wrong choice. I am 5 foot tall. I watch out for myself very carefully while you're traveling. As a combatives instructor and a fitness instructor, I highly advise that you get off your phone and that you pay attention to the world around you. And I cannot stress that enough, almost more than staying hydrated, because it has to do with everything about your life. And I know there was somebody that you might have in the future talk about self-preservation, self-security while you're gone or when you're prepping for travel. I would definitely say, even when you're using your camera, somebody in your group should not be using the camera and should be point person. It's just making eye contact with people. Hi, how you doing? You don't even have to be overly friendly. Eye contact. People need to know that you are not the one they're going to choose as a victim. Eyes open, phone down, pay attention, man. Take care of yourself, have fun, but pay attention to the world around you.
Surroundings. Yeah. That's some really good advice.
I know it was a random one, but honestly,
no, I
think self-preservation first. That's the first thing I do is just, I take up as much space in my room as I can. Yo, what's up?
I like it. I think that's some really good advice to end on. And Julie, I thank you so much for all your advice and your words of wisdom. We really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
So thank you. This has been Anna's Travel Talk, and I hope you enjoyed Miss Julie Beck from Warrior Up Fitness and all of her words of wisdom. Love to hear your comments below, and if we've inspired you today, hit that subscribe button, and you'll be notified when we go live with new content every Tuesday. So thank you again for watching, and we will see you next week.